Namaste everyone. I welcome you all to the second part of module 3. In part 1, we have discussed about Plato's brief life history and basic concepts about psyche. Let us begin the discussion with the criticism on Plato's division of soul. The criticism is sometimes in comparison with Aristotle's view on the division of the soul. Plato did not draw the clear distinction between emotions and appetitive drives. His philosophy suggests that the both appetitive souls and spirited souls are irrational, but only one, that is appetitive soul, is comfortable to the reason and spirited is not. On contrary, Aristotle clearly distinguished the rational and irrational parts of the souls. Also, in Plato's division of souls, emotions such as anger, fear, so courage are parts of spirited souls. But it does not clarify that these emotions are separate from appetitive part, that is bodily drives. In Plato's academy, there was a debate on whether the emotions are a cognitive state or not, whereas Aristotle clearly says that emotions are mental state, and they are to be satisfied not as same way we satisfy bodily drives such as hunger and thirst. And anger can be controlled by thoughts which are mental and cognitive, but hunger is controlled only by food, that is nourishment. Hence, due to not having clear division of appetitive soul and spirited soul, in a way this division is bipartite and not tripartite. Plato's followers answer to this criticism in terms of mortality and immortality of the soul. According to Plato, spirited and appetitive souls are mortal and reason or rational soul is immortal. Head is the mortal part of the immortal rational soul, which uses vehicle of body, and within body it creates another kind of soul, that is appetitive soul, which creates more disturbances for rational soul. Hence, tripartite division is logical, or they say that it is bipartite division of tripartite division of the soul. Now, let us move on to the further discussion. The mortal soul is contained various drives. The first one is pleasure. Plato says this is the most powerful trap of evil. Second is pain, which makes us run away from the good. We avoid pain and miss many good things in life. Here, good means virtues. And these pleasure and pain carry many more emotions such as fear, foolishness, anger, boldness, lust, expectations, which all lead to astray. They all are attached to unreasoning sense perception, and so they are unnecessary for the construction of moral soul. The rational part of soul is responsible for sense and perception. For that appetitive, mortal souls have to obey reason or rational part of the soul. Hence, madness and ignorance for Plato were diseases of mind brought by the body. He believed that excessive pain and pleasures are the greatest diseases of the mind. He indicated that people in great joy and great pain cannot reason properly. Hence, sense perception, desire, feeling, appetite are products of the body and are at war with the mind. Plato also takes support from neuroscience to explain this. He believed that the seat of the psyche and its aspects reside in the cerebrospinal marrow. The immortal, that is rational aspects, has separate place in the brain. The mortal, that is irrational aspects of feelings and appetite, are located in the thoracic and abdominal cavities. The heart serves as an advance post of the immortal part when wrong is committed. The heart can be stimulated to anger, and these emotions of anger can be carried by the blood vessels to all parts of the body. He believed that The blood vessels serve as the mean for conveying sensations throughout the body. He also believed that the psyche itself is immortal, but some of the functions is assumed when connected to the body are not immortal. Hence, Plato says that the purpose of the rational element is to understand these mortal and immortal parts, their differences, utilize reason and logic in order for the soul to discover what is true and false. In Republic, Plato has given an example that a person may have desire to have a drink, but he may not have it because it is bad for his health. But there is appetitive soul may have conflict with spirited part, and that time they have to take decision in collaboration with the reason, that is rational soul. Here Plato presents his ideas on real happiness and virtues. Plato says human beings are basically good, and for that they have to be rational. Then only they can achieve true satisfaction and happiness. Happiness or well-being is the highest aim of moral thought and conduct, and for that the virtues are the requisite skills and dispositions needed to attain it. There are four virtues: wisdom, courage, moderation and justice. Socrates also points out the role of these four virtues in the maintenance of the social order. Wisdom is purely intellectual virtue. Courage is soldier's specific virtue. Moderation is not an intellectual excellence either, but rather a combination of belief with a certain disposition to support order. And justice is the principle for the model state. Namely, that everyone is to do their own things and not interfere with that of another. Justice, as doing your own thing, may represent a more active state of mind with a wider extension, that no citizen should have what belongs to another or be deprived of what is their own. We can use the same analogy to explain these virtues for these three souls. Courage is the excellence of the spirited part. Wisdom belongs to the rational part, and moderation is the consent of all three about, who should rule and who should obey. Justice turns out to be the overall unifying quality of the soul. If justice is harmony, then injustice is disharmony for the soul. If justice is health and harmony of the soul, then injustice must be disease and disorder. Hence, it is clear that justice is a good state of the soul that makes its possessor happy, and injustice is its opposite. Just as no one in his right mind would prefer to leave a ruined body, so no one would prefer to live with a diseased soul. Hence, these virtues are important for eternal happiness and satisfaction. Another approach of looking at virtue is more interesting. Along with Republic, Plato has written another set of dialogues called Protagoras. This is altogether different approach as far as human psyche and human behavior are concerned. In the Protagoras, Plato, through Socrates' thoughts, argues that virtue is knowledge. The argument begins with the premise that everyone wants what he or she believes to be good. So, when a person does something wrong or bad, it cannot be because they want to do it knowing it is bad, but they want to do it believing it to be good. What separates the virtuous person from the unvirtuous is not a desire for what is good, because everyone desires what they think to be good, but rather the knowledge of what the good really is. It means the virtues are something based on knowledge and not something called innate qualities. We humans have choice to know the good and make ourselves able to correctly choose good. This thought resembles to the theory of karma in Indian philosophy, isn't it? We humans are capable of choosing our karma, and so everybody has to face the respective consequences. Let us take a break for a while and continue discussion on different psychological thoughts of Plato in next part. We will see Plato's philosophy of love and forms in the third part of the module. To conclude this second part, we have seen criticism on Plato's concept of tripartite division of soul and his theory of virtues and true happiness. Plato has written about virtues in his two separate books, the Republic and the Protagoras. In Republic, Plato has linked concepts of virtues with his tripartite division of soul, and in Protagoras, he says that virtue is a special kind of knowledge which can be achieved. These concepts, which were originated 400 years BC, are not only very interesting, but they are true even today, isn't it? I hope you all are enjoying this course, so keep watching this series. Thank you.